Hey Contagious Kids, my name is Larissa, and today is your Contagious Kids Daily Dose. Today we're going to talk about how Mary visits Elizabeth. Now, this is the scene, the scenario where Mary's telling Elizabeth about how she just got this visit from the angel. She's going to be giving birth to the Son of God, and Elizabeth encourages her. And also John, who's in Elizabeth's womb, leaps with joy. Everyone's excited. So, look with me at Luke chapter 1, verses 42 through 43. And we're going to talk about Mary visiting Elizabeth. Let's read on. After Mary learned she was going to have a special baby, she went to visit her relative Elizabeth. Elizabeth was going to have a baby too. When Mary said hello, Elizabeth was filled with God's Holy Spirit. She was so happy that Mary came to see her. In a loud voice, Elizabeth told Mary that she and her baby were blessed. When I heard your voice, the baby inside me jumped with joy. Elizabeth said, Great blessings are yours because you believed what the Lord said to you. You believed this would happen. This made Mary so happy that she sang a song of praise to God. Mary stayed with Elizabeth for about 3 months and then went home. God used Elizabeth to encourage Mary. The angel had given Mary some very surprising news. Mary wasn't planning on having a baby when the angel told her about Jesus, but she was obedient to God. Even though she knew other people might not understand God's plan. When Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit, she knew Mary's news before Mary even told her. Elizabeth's excitement showed Mary that God would continue to be with her as she followed his plan. When God is doing something important in our lives, he can use our Christian friends to encourage us and help us as we obey him. And when we let him, God can use us to encourage and help others too. Mary visits Elizabeth. Have you ever done something that just doesn't seem normal? Sometimes it's a little out of character, and you sincerely believe that God has told you these things. Now stay with me because I don't want to be out of line. But Mary believed what God had told her, right? Something so crazy, could be so crazy. She's about to give birth to the Son of God. She's a young woman. She's not married, but she believed and she knew and she saw that the angel of the Lord came and told her these things. And sometimes God gives us a promise that's so out of character. It seems so out of line, so just so big, right? So huge that it would be easy for us to pass it off and not believe it. But Mary believed, and her relative Elizabeth encouraged her belief, encouraged her obedience to this promise, and encouraged her to keep pressing. So, this excitement, do you have friends around you? Godly friends, good friends, right? We have friends around us, but are your friends that are around you, do they encourage you in the word? Do they encourage you in your faith? Do they encourage you to be obedient to God? Let's think about these things, right? I need good friends around me. I need good family around me to encourage me to keep my faith up. Sometimes, just how Prophetess Shanika says, your faith needs to come up. Sometimes our flesh needs to just go down a little bit so our faith can come up. Do you have good friends around you? Good family, spiritual family that can encourage you to continue to press in, to continue to be obedient to the will of God. Sometimes doing the will of the Lord is hard. But look at this. Mary was obedient. Even when she knew that other people might not understand. the will of God for her life. And she was surrounded by family. She was surrounded by relatives that encouraged her and helped her grow, even in this faith, even as she's preparing to give birth to the Son of God. So, God uses our friends who love Him to encourage us. And in that same token, when our friends are pouring into us and we're getting filled up, that gives us the ability to pour into others, to pour back into our friends, to pour back into those who are around us, to fill them up a little bit. So, we talked about obedience. We talked about promises. We talked about faith. We talked about the will of God. And so I want you to take this thing away here. Mary believed what God had told her. She grabbed onto that. And when God tells you something, believe it. He wants you to believe it. He wants you to take it in. He wants you like you're eating the best cheeseburger you've ever had in your life. He wants you to eat it. He wants you to savor it. He wants you to believe it. He wants you to be obedient to it. He wants you to desire His will. And then when you go and run and tell your friends, this is the will of God for my life. This is what God has told me. This is the promise. And it might sound a little bit crazy, but would you go and run and tell your friends, this is the best cheeseburger I ever had? Probably. And then your friends, those who do the will of the Lord, those who are discerning. We always need great counsel around us. We always need someone discerning on our behalf. Will encourage you to do the will of God. Always have a team around you. Always have a support. Those people are going to encourage you. They're going to pour into you, and you're going to be able to do the same. So, Contagious Kids, I hope you got what you needed. God always uses friends, godly friends, even relatives, to encourage us and to encourage our obedience to Him. All right, rest well. I'll talk to you later. Bye.